Hi guys, so just going to do a quick video on how I use the Midas VWAP. It's also known as the anchored VWAP, and it's ever so simple. It's basically just like any other VWAP. The difference being we can attach it to anywhere on the chart that we wish to. So we can attach it, for example, here if you wanted to. We can attach it anywhere you want. So I only use it on swing highs and swing lows. So where we've got like a reversal happening, I would add it there, and I use it to track inventory so I can look to scale in extra positions if I want to. Another use I have for it is if we have a major news release and the market spikes high, spikes low, I can add it to the high or the low of that move. And again, I can track inventory that way. So for example, let's use this. We had the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the war kickoff on Thursday. So we've auctioned down, sold off. We then found the bottom, started reversing. We could put the VWAP here on the swing low, what we think is the swing low, and then we can start tracking inventory. And what's happened is the red line is the Midas VWAP, and then the outside bands is the +1 standard deviation and the -1 standard deviation. So developing value high and developing value low. So we can see what happened on Thursday. We found a low, added the VWAP, and then these investors that got long here, these whales, started referencing with their algorithms or whatever they're using, started referencing the 1 standard deviation, adding to their positions along there. We then come into Friday. We auctioned off, so they might have took some profits here, for example, auctioned off, and then we came back down to the Midas VWAP, and you can see pretty much to the pit, it got respected, and we found consolidation here. So there's absorption happening. There was a lot of market participants hitting the bid, trying to sell the market, all the weaker hands trying to short the market. But we know, because we've got this anchor VWAP on, what could be happening, and what most likely was happening is this larger time frame investor was just sitting here with more passive buy orders, absorbing all the sellers that are just trying to bring the market down, and he was getting his big orders filled, and then we auctioned up for another 40 pips. So we can see here, it got respected perfectly. We then auctioned back down, ducked just below by a few pips, come back up, and that was, I believe, another 60 or 70 pip move, came back down, again referencing the Midas VWAP, and we auctioned up for another 35, 40 odd pips, respecting that. So we could get scale in positions. Now, I'm not saying just because we're reaching here that you want to get involved. I'm not saying that, oh, you need to be looking at footprint, DOM, other context, and making your decisions based upon other confluences and not just trading blind to the VWAP, because the Midas VWAP, because you will just come unstuck. And also we got to bear in mind that they might not necessarily be wanting to reference this Midas VWAP. They might find they can get a better price if the market auctions down a bit lower to the other side of developing value on the Midas. So they might start adding positions here, which would mean this would sort of be a bit of a support level, if you want to call it that. But if we didn't have this Midas on, a lot of people wouldn't have had a clue, or would have to be looking at other confluences to see why the market's not going down lower. So that's why I use that. We can also, if I scroll back out, I mean, there's a swing high here. We could add it here. We can see there was a bit of resistance here. So that might have been the higher time frame investor that was selling here. Let's just put it on, see. Oh yeah, look, so swing high, anchor VWAP on here. So this seller, and price come back up, if they were tracking inventory, for example, we came up towards this anchored VWAP, and look, the market started selling down there, came up towards, all right, we're about 3 pips short, but it's not exact. They might have been adding to their orders there, and the market auctioned back down again. So you can see that this time frame investor might have been referencing their positions on the Midas from the swing high, and this time frame investor were referencing it going long from the swing low. So that's how I use it, basically. So to add it, you literally hover over on the VWAP chart, right click on, well, I'm on my laptop, anchor VWAP, and add it. Or we can add it, say there. Anchor VWAP. Then if you want to hide it, you just scroll up the top here, hide, and then you Midas VWAP, and that's hidden it. And then to show it again, click up there, show, and it shows it again. So it's as simple as that. See if I can show you another quick example. I think I got in on the Euro trade, didn't I, yesterday, using it. Yeah. So again, I anchored the VWAP on a swing low. Well, I think the swing low was actually here, but I put it on the pullback. And then we can see on the Thursday, we were referencing, let me just select pointer, referencing the VWAP here. We then went slightly in a faster trend and started referencing one standard deviation. And Friday, we came back down, auction just below the Midas VWAP, and this blue line here is the -5 standard deviation. I just added these on yesterday just so I could see if it was the -5 we were referencing, and they started referencing the -5 standard deviations, adding to their positions, and then we started auctioning back up and then started referencing the 1 standard deviations. So we just use it as a way of tracking inventory to see if there's possibilities on any of these levels where we can scale in extra positions by using other confluences such as the footprint, the DOM, and things like that, the profile, market profile, and of course supply and demand zones. So we use plenty of other confluences, but it just gives us a guide where we might be able to add extra positions. That pretty much sums up this video. As I say, it was very simple. A lot of people message me thinking it's like some new holy grail, but it's not really. It's just a VWAP which you just can stick on in a swing high, swing low, or news event release. Yeah, and it just helps us scale in extra positions. All right, cheers guys.